Well, hi there, folks. It's Johnny from Acorn Wealth. That's my best accent I can do. Yosemite John here. Anyway, just kidding here. Johnny from Acorn Wealth here. Your executive summary is now. What an awesome day. S&P 500 kicking up, rallying. The money flow still really hasn't gone anywhere, but certainly we're continuing to push further. Again, my suspicion is that we'll continue to do this type of game back and forth until the election is over. It doesn't affect the long-term bearish look at the market. You can see we're still in this overall head and shoulders type approach. We could stay here, mucking around with this 2200 level for another couple of weeks until and still keep this this larger time frame head and shoulder in place. And if we go higher, we go higher, and we just keep on taking advantage of the longs. So let's talk about the longs. Of course, we had let's start with the ones that we sent out via text today and via email. PACB, Pacific Biosciences, has a terrific rally today. Of course, coming out of this long-term bearish pattern. Looks quite exciting. You can see that we've basically broken out. I'm drawing this roughly, but there we go. You can see we've kind of broken out of this level already, and this is looking excellent. There we go. Right, falling wedge. I mean, looking at the weekly chart, I mean, this could potentially have an opportunity of getting all the way up to possibly as high as 1350. Now, again, this is a momentum trade. My the setup that we suggested was an entry at the current price. We sent that out at about 6:35 in the morning. So basically, it was breaking through just underneath $9. It was at $8.94. It was also what was the entry criteria in the email? Entry criteria in the email was break of 889. So we're up 889 to 929. A beautiful rally, 5.57% today. Volume going from, let's take a look, 700,000, 1.1 million. 1.68 million. That's volume accumulation. That's power. I like that a lot. Again, I look at the target. Primarily, this is a mental target that we put in. First target 1033. Second target was 1113. Obviously, we're going to assess that as we rally. But this could be one of the ones that just keeps on going. So there we go. Like that a lot. MRTX, of course, was the one we sent out around again, early morning Pacific time, midday for you guys on the East Coast, and looks beautiful. Look at the money flow accumulation. Pops up above the zero level. Pops up through resistance. Spectacular rally today. 168,000 shares yesterday. 471,000 shares today. Yippee-ki-yay. That's looking really, really good as well. Obviously, those are the two really notable mentions. Of course, the other ones did do well as well. Also, DRNA, DRRX, those are the ones we mentioned. IMGN looking really good. You've already seen that from the summary this morning, so I won't go over those and waste too much time in the video here on those particular ones. Let's have a quick look at what the shorts did. The new potential shorts that we were looking at. AGN did drop through, close to the top half of the range, but wasn't able to hold. I wasn't able to break back in, so we'll obviously keep a close eye on that. This is the one I was kind of saying was a bit of a wait and see, a possible watch, but could start positioning into that. But what we really wanted to see before we got any real position was a break of 230. So you can see what I mean there. So I mean, it's possible you could start to pick up a small bit of puts. I didn't position into this yet. Based on the move we saw early in the market, I'm waiting for that break of 230 on AGN to get a little bit of extra confirmation. Let's push over to DNOW. Again, we've reviewed these already, but I just wanted to show you again why we look at making sure things break lower. Again, we're looking for a break of 1863 because the market was bullish. It never triggered. So you can pre-program these all in because you're factoring in what if the market doesn't drop. That helped that one. It didn't trigger. Not in. I'd still consider it a great short. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if it gets back into that trigger area. OLN, of course, was the other one that we said, look, we want to see that break down. Didn't break down. Not triggered. SQM was the fourth and final one from this morning's summary. And that one, again, didn't break down, didn't trigger. So all you've got is profitable positions. If you had programmed all those in from the summary and from the alerts today, all you've made is money today. And that's by basically factoring the market into how you trigger the trades. Yeehaw! Let's move on. Let's take a look over at the, I'll give you the new one first. There's one new one I have for you today. You might be, John, we have enough stocks, but someone sent me an email earlier this week. They said there's not enough longs. They're too far and few between. Well, okay, so now I'm going to show you more longs just to whet your appetite. You now have more longs than you really need. But here's one more. EFOI, Energy Focus something or other. This one looks good. This is a smaller price stock, only about $3.97. But look, beautiful scoop. If the money flow isn't as good as some of the other companies, so I prefer some of the ones we've already got. But this one is a possible breakout. If we break 407, I'd look at a target of 463, where that moving average is. I'd look at a stop loss of 376. Speaking of energy, if you wanted to look at a kind of a larger company, SolarCity also obviously has a bit more clout and a better money flow. So that's a speculative trade, and here would be the more conservative from a exposure to the price of the stock standpoint, and a better money flow. If this one were to break through 1897, let's have a look at the high of that candle, 1873. Yeah, 1897. I'd be looking at a target of 22, just on $22 to look at 21.93. So 1897 to 21.93. And on that, let's look at the stop loss here, 1706. So we'd have to tighten that up, because then we'd only be getting $2 of reward. $3 of reward. 19. No, where's my math? We get basically $2 of reward for a stop criteria, 17.6, $1.97. So no, not worth it. We have to look and see if we can get a realistic stop criteria from the hourly chart. We have to zoom in. This is where the hourly chart is important, and we're looking for those reversals. So the last reversal we had would be there. So we'd be looking at 17. Yeah, that could work. That could work. 1781 would be the stop criteria. And but basically, as soon as we could get above this area, we'd be able to quickly move that up to wherever the next reversal is. So it'd be a very short-term type of stop. So yeah, 1783. 1783, yeah, okay, so perfect. Let's write that down. 1783, stop. Perfecto. All right. Let's go back to the daily chart. A couple of comments that I would have for this type of market. I'd start to be a little bit cautious and see if, we don't know how big the rally may be, but just take a look at making sure that you've locked in some profits on things like Johnson & Johnson, starting to turn around just a little bit. What I would do is I would lower the stop criteria to 118. 118.33. This is really nicely in the profit. I mean, the puts are up from $4 to over $5 now. You see you've got a really nice over 25-30% kind of range profit. So this is starting to curl around and looking bullish. So I'd just be cautious. We can always get back in. Remember, this could easily rally up to 122. But I mean, but if it's going to continue dropping, it's got to go through here first. So I mean, I'd tighten that stop loss right up, restrict its room for movement, and get back into it if it dropped below 117. So yeah, so I would put a stop criteria above the high of that, above the high of that candle, 119.14. So I'd be looking at, what did I say? So, yeah, whatever I said, I'd still look at 120.13. 120.13 would be the stop criteria on Johnson & Johnson. No, that's way too much. No, sorry. Yeah, 119.23 is plenty. 119.27. 119.27. Okay, so let me just make a note of that. 119.27. Perfect. Let's do a quick run through some of the other ones. We've got NCS. Great drop today on that one. But despite the market's strength, this continued to drop. It had a bit of a consolidation candle as it hit the moving average, but if it breaks through that 200-day, that should really start kicking butt. So really, really happy with that one. WHR, this is obviously in huge profit, so we want to keep an eye on this one. It's up over 100% on the puts. Again, it's still dropping away, so we can give it another day. There's no real bullish action here that I'd be worried about. I certainly wouldn't be going out to buy it if I was looking for a long, so not too concerned here. And of course, TSE, let's bring that one up. Not too worried about that one either. Has held really well, but we have to keep a close eye that it doesn't break above the high of that candle. We want to keep our risk tight on these types of positions. Just to have a look. Now, I did have a question from the audience from Trading Room, and I wasn't able to address it. Home Depot. As or HD, what do I think of this stock? Now let's go back. Home Depot it was something that we actually picked out as a short way back when, and the main reason for this, I'm not sure if the person, I think it's Mike, were you asking? I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. I can't recall. All I remember is I had to talk about HD tonight. So HD. Beautiful, beautiful rising wedge. If this gets back up to 130 or somewhere around there, or breaks below this low, I would certainly give this a crack. I mean, it does look perfect, and from a rising wedge standpoint, and that's already broken down, which is the beautiful thing. So any kind of a rally on this, I think, would be great. If we can get a rally back up into the 130 area, we'll see how it's closing. 130, or I mean, ideally 133, because my target on Home Depot is 95. So I would be looking at, for example, 125 or 130 puts with a long date, and let's just have a quick look at what those are. Okay, hang on a second. Thanks for reminding me of this one. This was, I'm not sure if you remember this from Trading Room or whether you found it in your own. Either way, it does look good. And so we can go out and have a look at, say, for example, some, let's say, February puts. So looking at those February puts, you look at the 125s, $5.33. So depending on where, if it was breaking down, I'd look at the 125s. But you can see you can get some cheap ones. If this is where you buy you can get into the long dated strategy. So you can look at February, say February 125s or 130s. If we were breaking down, if we rally up, I would be looking into those kind of areas. I would be looking at the 130 puts. They're about $8.10. Let's have a look at January. $130 puts, $6.53, and obviously if we rally up, those are going to get cheaper. So if we rally up, I'd look at the 130 puts, and I'd look at least January or February. For the longer dated play, if we start then dropping down, I'd be looking at, say, something like a May expiration, and going out to look at something like what do we got? I wouldn't even worry about going that far. There's not a huge advantage in the premium yet, but I mean, you start to think of a 95 target. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. We'll keep that on the radar. That's all I would look at for now, is looking at those 130s or the 125s based on a rally or a drop. But Home Depot, yeah, I do like it. Okay. Okay. Now let's I don't think there's many other ones I wanted to comment on. HD. Yeah, I mean, other than that, QLTI, everything really looking good. QLTI, of course, is kicked but went up to its target yesterday. ZFGN still looking really good. That has not stopped out. Someone in the trading room the other night said it had stopped out. It had not, because it had hit the stop before hitting the entry criteria. So I still like ZFGN, but so that's still there as an opportunity. CPSI, this one looks really good. CPSI is needs to break the high here of 26.32. But that's holding. ADMP has a great rally today, hitting a temporary, this kind of a first profit area. As you can see, this double top, some profit taking ability there that happened today. If it gets back above 360, I would re-enter. And of course, that's got looks like it's got some good strength, up from 593,000 to 1.6 million today. And let's have a look here. And then the last thing we want to look at here is going through to CPSI. Okay. One other thing here. I'm just trying to find it. Actually, no, that was it. Oh, well, I mean, guess one other thing. For those of you who joined us for the big one tonight, what an awesome session. Thank you so much for joining us. So anyone who missed it, we have decided to do, we covered so much awesome stuff. We went through about 30 fallen angels. We went through some option plays that have 300 to 600% potential, that some of them are ready right now. And we went through so much stuff, we ran out of time, so we mostly caught up on what we're already looking at. And we've decided to do a 2-hour session next Wednesday at the same time. So if you missed out, you have one last chance to register. You'll get tonight's session on demand to watch and catch up before next Wednesday. And Wednesday will be the final session where we'll kind of really bring things together and look at what those trading opportunities. You will not be disappointed, I promise. To register, just go to acornwealthcorp.com/big one. And it's up there on the screen, acornwealthcorp.com/big one. And I hope you have a wonderful night. We'll see you all in Trading Room tomorrow. Take care.